You're listening to the only show that's broadcast from a swamp in the middle of the internet. Starring the elvish vixen PeninaChan, the dragon furry known as Draconath, Nemo the friendly fish from Australia, and straight from every country's annoying little brother, the pretend nation of Canada, the internet demon himself, the Canadian Road. This is Gator and Frog.
You realize, okay, Nemo, you realize I just unmuted myself on my side, and that's the first thing everybody hears is, "Hey Nemo, I'm pregnant."
Nemo, question. Whatever happened to Dana? Dana. Two of you in Men's Rights Australia, I thought. What do you guys think, Dana, or was that another group I'm thinking of? Must have been. Okay. That must be another group. Yeah, well. There was another Australian named Dana who was into it. He was. I thought he was you at first. Oh, no.
He's, let's just say, trying to just stay low. You know, he's kind of dumb. One of the many people who doesn't really have the strength to do it anymore.
And we have a fliss on
yeah,
my
no,
side.
he messaged me. He messaged me privately and said he was crushed by what he saw and how the honey badgers treated people when they were down there last year. And you know, he said, you know, he was really nice to me. He said, "God bless you, Dean. I'm sorry that you weren't treated so well." You know, so he was real nice to me, and so I just, you know, maybe he. I don't blame anybody who drops out of this. It's nasty and horrible. I really don't.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
You know.
But speaking of treating people horrible, the left are triggered over another white male being hired for Star Wars.
Yeah, again.
Again, it's always going to be this awesome stuff. These people are always going to be focusing on, you know, identity politics. They scare me.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
people.
how these people got into power, if you ever want to hear them.
Yeah. Well, what I find interesting about this is like how much like gays or blacks or women or whatever the fuck do they want in it when it's like clearly they're represented already in a lot of cases. Like when acting, it's definitely overrepresented. I don't see, like, it feels like no matter what, you're not going to be happy. You know, you could give them the whole planet and I'd still want the moon.
Are you sure they want the planet? I don't know. I don't think they can.
Well, they haven't asked for it yet. They want to probably destroy it.
Well, I know according to the logic of the left, only black people can write and direct movies about black people. Remember that.
Wow. That's not racist at all.
No, not at all.
Oh,
A
God.
very different view of politics. So if I swerve you off course, let me know. But I don't believe in left and right at all anymore. I think the real fight is globalist versus nationalist, and I think that's actually where the battle lines are being drawn.
Well, that is.
You know, you're probably onto something.
Oh yeah, the battle lines have been like that for quite some time. It's just the retards from the left, or as I like to call them, the leftards, haven't figured that out yet.
No.
Unfortunately.
The useful idiot left, the easily, you know, the gullible, the selfish, the narcissistic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Draconath's not back yet, is he?
No, he's not back as of yet. Oh, he is.
So
hello, Draconath. Long time no see. Or here. How was your move?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot more.
Turn up your volume just a bit, sir. Or move closer to your mic.
Or just move. Just move close. Get close. Really, really close.
Closer.
You know.
How's that?
Closer.
Okay, it sounds
Closer.
good to me.
Okay, too close.
I was waiting.
Yes, the acclaimed filmmaker John Favreau's Iron Man has been selected to write a live-action Star Wars series for Disney, but the color of his skin makes it a grave crime, which will only be remedied if he abdicates
Abdicates.
Abdicates. Thank you. His position or putting or puts it in inclusion rider on his contract. That's awesome. So basically they demand an inclusion rider for this. Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Affirmative action is no longer appealing, so now they're going with inclusion rider.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, wait. I'm Canadian and a little slow, but what the fuck is the inclusion rider?
An inclusion rider is a know-nothing bullshit term for someone who doesn't deserve to have the job, but they need to get it to them so they don't get fucking burnt down at the studio by angry ideologues.
Let's see. I followed the link during Frances McDormand's Oscar acceptance speech on Sunday night. She mentioned that Hollywood should solve their sexual harassment problem if companies have something called an inclusion rider. Less than a week after McDormand's pronouncement, actor Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther, had announced that his newly formed production company will have an actual inclusion rider. What is an inclusion rider?
I just told you! Someone who doesn't deserve to have a job in doing anything ever, but if they don't have them, they're going to get burnt down by his ideologue.
Oh, well, but wait. We actually have to define what an inclusion rider is, even though we know that... Okay, as placing a more talent behind the camera that reflect the world we live in, affirmative action in those cases will have the same effect as affirmative action in the real world. Put simply, less qualified people will be elevated to positions based solely on their race or gender, while qualified individuals will be docked out for... So it is like I thought it was. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so according to the description of the inclusion rider, if an actor demands that the film be reflective in the world that we live in, exactly according to the demographic statistics, the movie should include 75% white, 18% Latino, 13% black, and about 5% Asian.
What about gays? What about lesbian? What about trans? What about religion? What about
I'm sorry, but when it comes
worldview, I can keep going.
I have to say this, but when it comes down to the blacks, fuck them. Apparently, the blacks don't care, so as long as they've got their inclusion rider.
No. Let's be a little more simple. For somebody who's into arts, it should be the artist's vision, and fuck all who else says we need equal representation. No, because this is the artist's and whoever cooperated on it vision. Fuck off.
But what about their fifis?
They can their fifis can get fucked too, okay? As somebody who's going to be getting into video game development, I don't want anybody fucking telling me I have to have an equal representation of blacks, Latinos, Asians, dragons, fairies, pansexuals, whatever.
Fairies?
Scary, like, triad reactionary thing you've probably ever heard. I honestly think all of this is proof that the old school conservatives were right and most women just shouldn't be in the fucking workplace at all. I mean, really, how ridiculous is this? It's all perception. Apparently, it's either men are all predators or women are all crazy and see sexual assault around every corner. There's a reason, actually. I have to admit it. I just want to end all hiring, preferential hiring at all for women anywhere. If anything, sometimes I wonder if women shouldn't be subjected to a higher standard before they're allowed in, because holy shit, look at the disruption this causes.
Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, women should absolutely be subjected to the same standards as men are when it comes to hiring practices.
And that means all, like in fire departments, everything.
And if code of conducts don't work, maybe there's a reason societies have historically fucking segregated and said, no, this is going to be all male space, this is all going to be female space, because it appears that men and women can't get along. That's what I see from all this, right?
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Let's pretend the feminist accusations are all correct, which we know is poppycock. But let's give the ladies the benefit of the doubt, and they're right about all of it.
No, they're not.
Just at some point, well, I know they're not, but let's just pretend they are.
Yeah.
That still proves that would, if they were right, it would just prove men and women shouldn't be in the workplace together at this point. I mean, this is how you wind up with something like strict Sharia. I mean, really, at some point there's going to be a reaction, and you're going to get a backlash that's even worse the other way. It's going to be like, no women who aren't in burqas, or get out, you know, because this is the kind of reaction this kind of crazy creates.
Well, for me, because most of us in the MGTOW community, at least within the classic MGTOWs, we are actually advocating that, you know, if you're not willing to do one thing, which is, you know, take a few things away from women, because one, they really didn't earn it, we gave it to them, and they've abused this power to a point where it's abusing and hurting, you know, not only themselves but the men included. Maybe it might be time to go backwards, and maybe it is time to say, you know, maybe what we should, you know, take a bit of power away from them. If it's not their workplace, maybe it's the voting rights, or maybe something else. But it gets down to this craziness that we're allowing this to happen. Go ahead.
Say stinging things to get women to, like, figure out what they want. Like, honey, the boys teased you, and that upsets you. Should you be at home making babies because you can't handle it? I mean, really, maybe that hurts her feelings, but maybe she hears it. Because if you can't toughen up the right way and learn to, makes me furious.
I know. But since we've got that affirmative action out of the way, which I think is kind of stupid all the way through anyway. So let's see what will else be on the awesome docket for today. I've got oh yes, the Battlegrounds latest anti-cheat patch has caused a lot of problems, and that is basically the throttling of their game.
Wow.
Let's see if I can actually find that. Let me see if I can find that one so I can keep up with you here.
Oh, I thought you would have that already.
I, for some reason, closed the Tumblr. So.
No, Tumblr? No. We're not using Tumblr. We're using Minds.
Oh yeah,
for those who,
Minds.
So for those who on the on the Twitch side of things, please go over to the low bar and click that little big bobble that looks like a light bulb. That will go over to the Minds portion of the GNF, and if you want to, you can follow along that way.
Actually, people are seeing it on my screen.
There we go. On Friday night, PlayerUnknown Battleground received a patch dedicated to the anti-cheat measures. Many players have reported that the patch resulted in the inability to launch the game, or at least the client. So there's a problem. For them trying to fix their cheating issue, mostly happening in China, they pretty much bunked their game.
Well, I've got a question here. How bad is the cheating in these types of games? Like, is it
bad?
Is it? Because, like, as I'm not a big fan of those types of style of games, so I've never been able to be affected by it, good or bad. So it just seems like a thing. Like, is it much to do about nothing, or is it actually affecting gameplay?
It's affecting gameplay. It's basically cheats that allow you to auto.
Well, you take the floor because you're the experienced.
Yes, Dragon, you are the most experienced one in all of us for this fun. Do you know?
Most of the cheats are basically just auto aim.
You gotta up your audio, man.
Do I?
I do want to climb back something I said earlier, though. Hollywood is a pit of sleazy, filthy sex scumbags. So I do want to acknowledge that, too. My rant about women being oversensitive in the workplace shouldn't take away from the fact that Hollywood is full of filthy sex pervs. So
It's basically a slimy rat pit. Yeah, it's a slimy rat pit.
Really hard. I do want to acknowledge that. I'm not endorsing sexually.
No. Here we just have fun and shoot the shit. We talk about what it is, and we still follow the same basic rule. It's a free speech platform. If you don't like it, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Okay. And on.
Pull this back off.
Anywho, so basically, as Draconath was mentioning, it looks like it's got some issues with the auto aims and whatnot.
Well, as 99% of the hackers are from China, most of their cheats are mostly around auto aim, infinite ammo, illegal hacks, basically that allow you to spawn with a gun.
Okay. So basically, giving them more of an edge.
Oh yeah, and some of the auto aims aren't just auto aim. They're like, hey, look, I shoot the floor and I kill everyone.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, one
So you
bullet
basically
kills-
become God.
Yes, the cheats are seriously bad. The cheat hack system they had originally with Battle Eye was good. It's just this one basically upped the ante on the ones Battle Eye was missing.
Okay, so that just kind of so basically them trying to recover or at least do damage control broke their game.
Yeah, because the hacks the hacks at that point are using in-game code that is overriding some features that are, well, you have to pretty much almost break a game at that point to counter their hacks.
Okay.
Okay, I get it.
So
I
they
get it.
So at this
So,
point, they have to recode a few things.
Yeah.
So is that why the game's broken? Is because it had to go to such great lengths to change the coding?
I think so, because I think that what they want to do is eventually take this to a competitive level, and to go competitive, you have to iron out a lot of the cheats.
Oh. Well, I wish them best of luck because I don't see this remedy anytime soon. And even though they want to go to competitive level, they're gonna have a.
That's not something I know for a fact. That's a suspicion I have with the level of anti-hacking they're going to.
Wow. I wouldn't put it past if they wanted to go professional on that one.
Well, I mean, you've got like what 80 players on a map. Last one to the end wins.
Well, it is a battle royale style, and it seems to be the most popular thing going battle royale. So
they filled out team combat, so at the end, if the top 4 players are all on one team, you just Rochambeau for who wins.
Pretty much.
And if it was winnings, basically the team would split the winnings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But anywho.
Back to that, aren't we, Cat?
Anyway, so
Penina, accept my friend request, lady.
Did I not?
And by the way, are you okay?
Oh, there she did. Okay, there she is.
What's up, Nemo?
Are you okay?
Me?
You just seem a little.
Oh, I am.
I like someone suplex.
I had the I caught a bug earlier today.
Okay.
Was it a
I had a
bug
yesterday.
or a small bug? Because technically, it looks like it's still kind of launched on you and laying eggs or something.
Oh, it's through its final courses, but let's just say I'm feeling the physical pains from the stomach bug that I got.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, if you want to tap out, you can. You know that.
I know, but I've been out all week due to moving, so I want to at least
have some fun.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as like I said, as long as you realize you can tap out if you want to, so just remember that you don't have to push your way through. But speaking of tapping out, Donald Trump is kicking around in his Valence campaign, and currently as we go into the global news portion of it, research shows that there's no link between video games and violence. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's more than that. 80%. I think there was one there. 80% of the shooters don't even like violent video games.
We'll get to that, Nemo. We'll get to that.
Sorry.
I mean, basically.
Well, I could have told you that.
Well, why not also introduce this one as well? That the 80% of mass shooters show no signs of interest in video games. We can kind of.
Reading is no longer on the screen and on the Twitch.
Give me a second here. I just
so in case someone pops in and doesn't know.
Exactly it's kind of like hanging off to the side.
Yeah, no, I just saw it. I've got so many things happening.
At least we're letting you know, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because it's delayed. We're ahead. I'm looking at it on both the Twitch side and on this side. We're good. So 80% of mass shooters show no interest in video games, research says. So there's something right there. That's exciting.
Shooters show no interest in video games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mass shooters show Yep. So basically, the psychologist Patrick Markey research shows 80% of mass shooters did not show an interest in violent video games in this case. It seems like something that should make us safer. So it's a total understandable reaction. Markey says the problem is just the science, the data does not back up the actual have effect.
Do you want me to take it from here, Rogue?
Please, my English miss is not doing good anymore.
Okay. Other critics point to the appearance of specific weapons in video games, like a Remington.
Seriously? You're going to fuck it up too?
No.
Remington
assault rifle pictured in popular game Call of Duty. Image of the rifle come from a lawsuit of Sandy Hook parents who are suing Remington, saying the company bears responsibility for the killings of the 26 children at the school by shooter Adam Lanza in 2012.
Yeah, I was hoping you would have him, but regardless, unlike the TRPC here, we're just gonna let it roll. Normally, we would not actually give the gratification to shooters whatsoever, but in this case, because the article has his name and I forgot to actually remove it, my bad.
It's okay.
Okay.
Repeat it. Just don't repeat it.
I won't repeat it. I promise. It's
the shooter.
One of those things.
The
shooter. We reached out to Remington but did not hear back. This is the second paragraph below. The Entertainment Software Association, which represents the video game industry, said it told the president that numerous scientific studies show that there are no connection between video games and violence. In fact, Markey said his work shows when a new violent game is released, crime actually drops.
Wow.
Can I give you a hint on this?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
As someone who actually has struggled with these sort of thoughts in the past, violent video games actually are an outlet for this sort of thing.
I would think so, because the science shows that... well, let's put it this way. We'll put it this way. Japan, the main benefactors for all these game-making things, have the highest level of percentile of violent games played. Yet their violent crime is next to none.
That's because most of their violent crime.
Be a moderate voice of dissent here, at least in one way. I actually am quite skeptical about the claim that video games would cause mass shootings. It's pretty clear from everything I've seen. It's a dumb thing, but I will point out that this is just general skepticism, or what I would call real skepticism, because actually, if you study real skepticism, you can be skeptical with anything, at any time, for any reason. And so what you really want to look for is what's called a justified skepticism, or rational skepticism. But in any case, people can order up studies these days to say whatever they want, and they'll be perfectly peer-reviewed and official looking. So, I mean, as soon as I hear studies say, I'm like, well, which ones, from who? And that's just kind of an automatic twitch I've learned to have, because, man, the popular press misreports science so much.
And
it's good to carry that level of skepticism. Sure.
I think that's a healthy skepticism of anything. I'm like, oh, a study says. A study by whom? Funded by whom? For what purpose?
Okay. Well, I want to know something else here. Is Trump really doing this to, like, let's just say, I have a suspicion Trump might be, let's just say, using this as a way to push an agenda, even if he doesn't believe it. It's possible about that too. That he's just using something that seems logical and seems easy to believe, as the thing said, but it's counterintuitive. And maybe he knows that, but he's just doing it as a way to, I guess, get the legislation or whatever he wants pushed through. Because he's not going to censor video games. It's just absurd.
Do you want me to read from the top of the research shows no link?
No, I was going to wait for Draconath to say something, and then we can continue. Go ahead,
There's some
Draconath.
freaky conspiracy theory stuff about school shooters, because I have some, but we don't have to go there.
No, I was going to get Draconath to side. Go ahead, Draconath.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
I'm so sorry. I genuinely am sorry. I did not hear you speak up.
That's all right. I'm not.
I was going to go with this one here. A small study from the 26 or the 06 in Indiana University suggested teenagers who played violent video games showed higher levels of emotional arousal, but less activity in the part of the brain associated to the ability to plan, control, and to basically through the thoughts and behaviors. So
This is all. Wow.
there's still a lot to go through. The studies still go on. The research still shows that there's no real significance when it comes down to violent video games in children for the most part. But we will say that yes, certain games will affect certain children at certain ages.
Not
Henceforth, well, go ahead, Draconath.
no. As someone who is emotionally interesting, it video games are it sounds like that's the particular study was designed as a unique study to study the brain chemistry of an individual. So I'm not certain how much that actually relates.
Well, again, keep in mind that the whole idea of violence in video games has been an ongoing research for at least a few decades, if not
Yeah.
4.
And it's something I would like to talk about. And I think that when it comes to this type of thing, we do ignore one thing, and that is kids playing like MA15 plus games should probably be a little bit stricter looked at. It seems to be that video games, unlike movies, like an MA15 plus movie, not many parents would let their 11-year-old kid watch an MA plus 15 movie. Well, not as many as kids would let their, parents would let their kids play with an MA15 plus video game because they see video games as kids stuff sometimes. So I think that is a part of legitimate that I'll say as maybe we should look at.
Of course, but like our previous discussion that we had in the TRPC, the shooter in this question for this particular thing that happened in Florida had people at his doorstep that they failed to actually act upon. There were people, even with his own family network, that were like going, this kid's fucked up. He got guns. Fix this shit. And yet the law enforcement that couldn't do anything about it because certain laws were put in place that prevented them to a degree. But there was also other laws that they could have followed with to pretty much put him in observation, because stalking laws are available in the state of Florida. And there's a few other things like cyber harassment and all that they could have used. They readily use that very quickly on, MRAs or whatnot. But they barely do that when it comes down to children with guns. It's almost like this whole situation was designed from the beginning.
They're quick to jump on Republicans, MRAs, centralists,
and white cis males.
Well, not necessarily true, because it depends on their age group.
Correct.
If they're within a certain age group and within a certain political party, or within a certain political background, they'll just pretty much give them a free pass on a lot of shit. And then as you look at who is backing that child and who is actually covering their happy ass. Because we're also losing the fact that maybe this kid had connections with someone who was covering their ass, because there's a lot of things that are making absolutely no goddamn sense with the situation. People are apparently reporting that there was orders to back down, back up, walk away. Then there was orders to do the opposite. So this entire shooting is probably the most convoluted and most heavily,
I'd say it's the most scrutinized one that there is, because there's a lot of problems, especially when it comes down to the sheriff. Max, you want to say something?
Max?
Okay, Max is not going to say anything. Cool.
I'm sorry, I zoned out. Ask me the question again.
No, I thought you were going to say something. We were following the follow up with the idea with the school shooter that this thing is focused on heavily for the most part.
Okay, yeah, I did want to mention, by the way, while you just said white males are particularly targeted, you're correct. However, targeting of black males does still occur, and in fact, sometimes, and I do have black friends who will attest to it, especially older black men, but also black men who've actually done something to improve their lot in life on their own initiative. They get picked on a lot, and actually, I think it's always worthwhile, even though white identity politics is a thing, and it has to be right now. It really does. I've given into it, right? I fought it for the longest time. We can't have white identity politics. We can't have white identity politics. No, we have to have white identity politics. We do.
Mm-hmm.
But we should always be looking for genuine people in the black community who have the same exact concerns and undergone many of the same things. I think we should always remember that. Sorry if it sounds preachy. It's true.
No, but that's true.
Points. I mean, it's true. I mean, for years, basically the cry for black community has been targeted is not far off, but the police have had to be, if they're targeting someone, they have to have someone who has an easy rep that will make it easier for them to just kind of excuse it.
I truly believe that the black community was targeted for destruction. I totally, completely believe that. A lot of the social experiments that are being worked through have worked through our culture, through what you would call white America, they're like, they started on them, making them government dependent, throwing the father out of the home, normalizing and subsidizing single motherhood. That all started in the 1960s on them. Mm-hmm. This is also the reason why I have limited tolerance for the race realists. I mean, I will never say the race realists are wrong about everything, because they're not. And sensible people of all races acknowledge that. Bad things were done to black people, and it's just that the black leaders you see and the black journalism figures now are all fake sock-just puppets. They're horrible, you know. But the actual working black guy, the black family was targeted for decimation first. It was. They're not wrong about that.
No. I will agree. They were targeted first because they were the experiment. Because one, they were the smaller group at the time, and they were the easiest to manipulate. And then over the centuries, and especially in the United States, they found good incentives to have women in general throughout their partners very quickly, put them in prisons and that, so that they would be forced laborers for the most part. They were slaves, if you look at it.
No. Well, and there was also there was many things that used to keep them. Like, was there racism back then? Absolutely. Was there things to keep them down? Absolutely. Were they targeted? Absolutely. But there's certain things I don't want to take responsibility for, and all those I wasn't a part of. Exactly, but that's
in fact, just by acknowledging that it happened, we prove it, because it's horrific, right? We're not responsible. You can't blame us. You got to blame these bastards who have been running things like this for the last 50, 60, 80 years, whatever, however you count it.
Yeah. This is we've really got onto a tangent, but
sorry. I get
no. Technically, that's the case, because we're a little ahead. So henceforth, like I said, I've got at least 3 different hot button topics here. One of them is this one. This is with the shooter. This will be a hot button topic, simply because of the factor that there's so much nuance to it. With the whole idea of Donald Trump going into office or going to his senators and that, saying, "Hey, we got this gun problem, and I think it's related to like video games, because I heard that video games are really violent and warp the kids' minds." And then you have all these other, psychologists, sociologists, and whatnot are kind of going, "Well, we've been doing these testings for almost like 50, almost 100 years, and what we've got concluded so far is that the violence that we have coming out isn't properly adding up, especially when you compare that to what we're saying is violent video games is causing that problem." So
this sounds like a yes man scenario.
Just remember also, remember the gamers are dead. Gamers are sexist and misogynist. Gamers are violent, toxic masculinity in video games.
Don't forget, we're all satanic and all that kind of stuff, because we've gone through the gambit.
And the video games are bad. They need to change. President Trump says, "I agree. We need to change the video game because this is huge." Wait, no. We didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Too late.
That's exactly right. It seems very interesting that as soon as he's like, "Whoa, wait, there's a problem here." Okay. See, I think that was part of it. Maybe he was testing the audience, saying like, "If I go down this road, what's going to happen?" And it seems pretty quickly people told him to shut the fuck up.
I actually made this comment to somebody because they wondered why is it different when the journalists and everybody want to censor video games, and now and why are they different, or why do they think they're different than when Trump wants to censor video games? I said it's quite simple. It's because the journalists want to still have a level of control and shame people into self-censorship, whereas if government legislation censors it, then the journalists can't pick who the target of their thought crime is.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right.
No, that makes sense, because again, it's always going to be about the target, and unfortunately, in this case,
it's bad tactics and bad targets. Shut the fuck up.
I know. But in this case, it is
Mr.
a weird
Bob fucking Shipman. Go to fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Yeah. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. We're going to see more and more reports like this in the future, and it's just going to be much more difficult.
Yeah.
To try to get past it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if it sounds like I'm angry, I'm totally angry. I'm really angry.
I can taste the hate.
The
I
salt,
can taste it.
yes.
It's like,
salt and vinegar. The salt and vinegar.
Yeah,
it's like Skittles.
let your Jewish hate flow, because. Oh, hang on.
By the way, speaking of Jewish hate, right? Is this a good time to promote her little event we're going to be having at the end of the month?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's promote it.
Yeah.
What I missed?
Oh yeah, that's right. Draconath was not a part of
you
this.
missed a lot of things while you were away. Moving from one mountain to another, Draconath.
Quite literally one mountain to another. Mount Sinai, to be exact.
Basically, Penn wants to do a thing for Passover, and I thought it'd be fun for the shits and giggles to do it. So I've got a few movies on the go for her Passover, and she wants us to represent her people.
Represent my peeps.
You're asking the wrong.
Nope, Draconath, you don't understand. You've already been elected to ask the 4 questions.
Nemo,
and
Rogue,
Nemo is going to be finding.
I will have a question. I will have words with the 2 of you.
And Nemo's going to find the Hagafen because we're going to hide a pizza matzah.
No. Hang on. The beautiful thing is that you have to answer questions while Nemo has to find shit in a movie.
Yes.
Who's got the harder job there?
Probably.
It depends on how good Draconath's Hebrew is.
Oh God.
You know what? If you want to make it harder for me, or maybe I have to say whenever I find one.
Do I have to talk
to
ask you the questions in Hebrew? Oh, fuck that
yes.
shit.
Don't worry. I will help you practice the pronunciations with all the crying and
No. Basically, the thing is that we'll have English translation as well as Hebrew. We'll just make sure. We'll make sure. But that's for Nemo.
It comes with 4 cups of wine. We get 4 glasses of wine.
You get booze.
You get 4 glasses of wine.
Nothing's stopping you from having 4 glasses of wine. How old are you again?
Wine is nasty and yucky. Who drinks that shit?
My people.
I'll be drinking it.
Your people's taste buds must be dead.
I'll pretend I'm Catholic and have Jesus' blood.
Well, I mean, Jesus was Jewish too, so...
Okay, so
exactly.
The fish is now a vampire.
Yes.
Yep.
The fish is. All right. So, if we're gonna promote this properly, it is going to be at the end of the at the end of the month, March 31st, at our normal time. But we're gonna be watching 2 movies. Rogue, what are those 2 movies again?
Wait, at our normal time? No. We're gonna kick that back about an hour at 8 o'clock my time, 1 hour earlier, so that we can get 2 movies in.
Oh, so. Oh, okay. So 11 Saturday night at 11 p.m. Gotcha.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're looking at like 4 o'clock in the morning for you.
And what are our 2 movies for the night?
Well, I do have that one that is done by everybody's personal favorite, Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
And that's the history of the world.
Part 1. Don't forget the part 1 part.
I know, part 1. Well, technically, it should be the history of the world because he's never completed part 2.
But shh, that's the joke.
I know, that's the joke, right?
That's the joke.
I still want to see Hitler on Ice.
You want to hear some nerd observations on the blood and vampire thing?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And the blood of Christ thing?
Sure,
Actually, if you look into it, it is almost universal in human cultures and religions to describe spiritual power as being in blood. It's not just a Jewish thing. In fact, there are people running around now because I've met them and talked to them who are into vampirism and sucking blood because they really do think they get power from it. It's like there seems to be something somehow instinctive in that belief in humans. It's everywhere and it's all cultures just about.
The life essence.
And it's not just the Jews, it's not just a Christian. But then the interesting thing is, at least from a Christian perspective, I'd say we're the ones who do see power in the blood, but we don't do human blood anymore. We use the blood of Christ.
Yeah, there you go.
So there. See, there's a positive spin on some spooky cat.
There we go. See, and then the other one you wanted was the
1956 film, The Ten Commandments.
Commandments, right.
I
was confused.
Wait,
He wants us to watch the what?
The Ten Commandments.
I haven't seen that since I was little.
Dragon? A little dragon?
Well, since he was a little dragon, he hasn't watched that since he was a little dragon.
A little dragon. I could just imagine.
It's actually a pretty good adaptation. Most Hollywood attempts to do Bible stuff really suck, but that's not bad. I mean, it has some real flaws to it, but it's also pretty good.
Yeah, no, actually, I think that out of all of them that they've done, that one.
Well, the Prince of Egypt wasn't too bad, but that was DreamWorks' spin on it.
Yeah.
And for an animation, it was pretty good.
Hey, I love that movie. That's a brilliant.
No, actually, I think it's actually good. Yeah.
Took some liberties I didn't quite like, but it had a lot of good stuff, especially the burning bush scene and a few things like that. Very, very good.
But
music was
even
also
from
good.
even from a non-religious point of view, the animation's good. The music's amazing by Hans Zimmer.
The
Good,
visuals, even
voice
for an
acting in it.
animation. Oh my god.
Yeah, all that
Beautiful
stuff. It's
stuff.
even if you take the the religion out of it, which is difficult but it's a good movie and a good story.
Well, there we go,
Yeah.
Pen. I'm going to give you an opportunity. Do you want to pass that up for the other one? You have choices.
Pass out what?
You can pass up the Ten Commandments for the Prince of Egypt or whatever.
The only reason why I didn't suggest the Prince... The only reason... Well, I also offered Bubby's Boarding House Passover Edition, but...
Well, again, all you have to do is remember to put it. You know how to do it. Just send me a DM so I can find it for you, and I can have it ready for the presentation.
You know what? I'll think about that. The original idea why I wanted to pass up the Prince of Egypt for the original was because number one, 1956. Hello, that's kind of our shtick. Older movies, and I did not want to have the gods of DreamWorks come down upon us, even though Spielberg is another type of my people. Yeah, I don't want the wrath of Spielberg, especially since there's a new movie coming out from Spielberg. See that segue? Huh?
Yeah, I get it. And speaking of that,
Spielberg.
Give me a
What does
second.
Spielberg do?
Just,
Hey, I'm tapping out, guys. Just too tired. God bless y'all.
All right.
See you later.
Good night, Max.
Okay, let's try this again because the thing I had decided to play an ad and I can't move it.
I have to go and actually find one of the other things that you had. See, it's not on the Minds side of it, or if it is, I don't see it.
Okay, I'm stuttering for whatever reason. Give me a sec.
All I have is
Why
the
am I
VR
stuttering?
things.
Okay, wait. It's further down.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is further down.
No, it's not.
Should be.
All I see is the Ready Player One VR. I don't see the one that has people complaining about Spielberg.
So what's wrong with Ready Player One? It looked amazing. It's beautiful.
I know,
down,
but okay.
Pen.
I found the I found the Tumblr. I got it. I'll find it. I got it. I found it.
People
For
throw
whatever
genetic
reason,
chips into
my
a lot of things.
There we go. Steven Spielberg may have a flop on his hands with Ready Player One. I got it.
oh, I remember. This is the one Penina went nuts for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, no, explain to me because I don't know much about this, so tell me what Ready Player One is first.
Okay, think of Ready Player One as an 80s montage mixed with Willy Wonka, mixed with The Matrix.
I've seen a bit more trailers of it. Can I...
Go ahead.
So, Penn is right. It's an 80 montage of, like, Iron Giant. It's got, like, 80s to 90s, so it's got, like, Iron Giant, Back to the Future references, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory references. But there's a story behind it. Apparently, the creator of this game world, that's technically a VR, left a secret egg within the whole world of the game that anyone who finds it will become owner of the company.
I was trying to find the description of the actual... So I actually went to Amazon, so here we go. In the year 2045, reality is an ugly place. The only time teenage Wade Watts really feels alive is when he's jacked into the virtual utopia known as the Oasis. Wade's devoted his life to studying the puzzles hidden within this world's digital confines, puzzles that are based on their creator's obsession with the pop culture of decades past and the promise massive power and fortune to whoever unlocks them. But when Wade stumbles upon the first clue, he finds himself beset by players willing to kill to take its ultimate prize. The race is on, and if Wade's going to survive, he'll have to win and confront the real world he's always been so desperate to escape. I've read this book. I've read this book. It's got a certain...
Why is it going to be a flop?
Okay, so we're getting into that. Spielberg is one of the most successful directors of all time. Generally, his name is on the marquee of a huge draw. But as his latest movie, Ready Player One, nears its premiere, his magic doesn't seem as strong as it usually does. The movie, based on Ernest Cline's novel, is a celebration of pop culture set within a sci-fi story in a dystopian future. And to emphasize that, Warner Brothers released a slew of posters, which there's a link to, on Tuesday, using characters in the film to recreate classic film posters like The Matrix, The Iron Giant, and Back to the Future. Let's see if I can actually do this. So I went over to, what's this? This is IO9 Gizmodo. So this is the cast of characters. So as we're scrolling through, you can see that they have reimagined it like the Matrix. Then there's... Oh, is that the only one? No, there's more. Okay, I was not on the right one. Then there was like the Labyrinth that they redid. Then there's... Oh, yeah, Back to the Future. Okay, yeah, Back to the Future with a DeLorean.
DeLorean's been seen in, like, almost all the trailers.
There was another one where it's a Beetlejuice kind of reference. Then there's... is that it? Nope. What was this one? It has a guy with a gun on his holster. See, I don't remember some of these. Here's another Back to the Future one. Some of these I don't remember. The Iron Giant, but it's called Ready Player One. And you've seen the Iron Giant in some of the advertisements.
Yeah.
It's Rambo. It's just making fun of some of the pop culture references.
I don't think it's making fun. I think it's...
sorry. It's paying homage. It's parody. It's paying homage to them.
Basically, what we're looking at is like Matrix, what is it?
And I think some of these are done really well. It's like, I get it. It's funny.
The thing is, people don't like when their things are either being made fun of or being misrepresented in some form or fashion.
Well, and to continue, basically, the article from Fortune says it didn't go well. The internet erupted with vitriolic criticism of the posters and the film's premise. Mara Wilson chimed in, and if anybody doesn't remember who Mara Wilson is, she is Matilda from the movie Matilda. Or she was, I should say. She says...
she was a little girl, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Yep.
She's been out of the movie scene pretty much, but I think she started making a small comeback, but only because she jumped on that guy with the glasses.
Can we kind of hold back a little bit here because we got some time? Can we kind of go through the actual movie posters because some of them are really interesting.
No, we can. So we had The Matrix.
Is there a way you can share a link with it in the Discord?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
in show topics. That's right. We got it. We have to enjoy this for all of its worth.
Why not? Let's do it. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. Let's go.
The Photoshop work was really fucking good, though. So you got The Matrix. You have the Labyrinth. Yeah, there's a Breakfast Club in there.
Mm-hmm. The Labyrinth. You have in this case, especially
Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's a Blade Runner.
That one there with the one with the glasses. It's an 80s montage of that one. I can't remember that one.
Yeah, like I said, Beetlejuice. I can't remember who this one is.
When you say you can't remember,
the one they look like they're like trying to climb out of a hole.
Journey to the Center of the. Oh, Goonies.
Goonies.
Okay.
Goonies.
It's Draco. If you look over to my Twitch for a second, you'll be able to see. Or Draconath, we're actually both on the same image. Or we were. God.
What?
You were just on it. It was white background with a couple of cars with Percival, with the gun holster.
I recognize that.
Oh, are you talking about what was it? It has a couple of representation there. The one with the white one. That is oh god. The Italian Job or
probably the Italian Job. Yeah, that one.
Because they came out a while back. The Italian
probably
Job
the Italian Job
in the 80s. That's with the little in this case Beatles and that. It's a heist movie. So it's similar to like Ocean's 11, but in this case set in Rome.
So we have another Back to the Future one. What is the one with the red background?
That one there, Lost Boys.
That's Lost Boys?
Yeah, that's a Lost Boys.
Lost Boys had the boys just their heads in the front, and against one being a vampire with the entire background, like, yeah, that's Lost Boys.
It's Lost Boys.
The Iron Giant one, oh my fucking god.
And then you got the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Then you have Rambo.
The first Lost Boys is actually pretty good.
Yep. Don't watch the second one. For anybody who goes on that one, do not watch the second one.
Well, unless you're cancer, go through all three of them.
Here you go, Blade Runner.
Yep.
I like the Blade Runner the one the most. In fact, if I can, I'll get this one frickin' printed. I love it.
I like the Goonie one. It's actually pretty good. It's really, really good.
I wouldn't mind having all of them.
Actually, all of them are really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And all 12, they're really, really done. I like their take on the Labyrinth. It's really good.
They call themselves the High Five, the Stacks, the Oasis, the Hidden Keys, the Easter Egg, the Holidays Journals, and Sorrento. Oh God, I hope that they do this movie right to the book. And I understand adaptation of a book to a movie is not easy to do, but holy crap, I hope they do it well.
You can hope to do it well, but honestly, the movie never does it up to the expectations of the book.
Oh no, you're right, it doesn't. But some of them get really freaking close.
Some have gotten good and close, but others not so much.
Yeah, no, but unfortunately, when it comes down to it, you have people who kind of got their panties in a bunch for whatever reason.
Yeah. So going back to Mara, she said, I used to dream about the day someone would write fan fiction about stuff I wrote, but I feel like if anything I wrote had been written into Ready Player One, I would feel kind of dirty. Now, here's the thing. It's like, okay, do you have a problem with the premise of the of the movie itself? Because the movie is based off of the book. And how come nobody complained about the book, but they're complaining about the movie?
Here's is a really big secret to a lot of things. Not everyone is as well read in the world as people like to think they are.
Yeah,
Make
I
everyone
know.
think they're well read. So in that way, they can. People who have read, they say they've read the book, haven't really read it, and so they just get butthurt because they read it once or reviewed it once or skimmed it.
Well, I've read the book and I've listened to the audiobook version of it with Will Wheaton. I would have to say, after
Will
a few,
Wheaton.
after a bit of aspirins and after taking a knitting needle to your ear, he sounds not that bad.
Well, I enjoyed the book. I didn't listen to the audiobook, and after I found out Will Wheaton narrates it, I kind of didn't want to.
You didn't want to listen to Crusher?
No.
Yeah, I always wanted to say shut up, Wesley.
I'd like it if somebody else does a fan reading of it instead. I'd enjoy that a lot more. In fact, I was thinking about doing it fucking myself. Not me fucking myself, but I thought about doing.
You said it too, like...
No, honestly, I think you would get more response if people actually got the chance to hear that. That'd be much more interesting.
You know, I think
versus
you make a lot of money at it. If
you make a lot of money.
If you read the book while fucking yourself.
God damn. Anyways, this person goes by the next one on my screen. I thought Schindler's List would be the most depressing by Steven Spielberg, but Ready Player One is shaping up to take that spot. Hold on, wait a minute. Schindler's List was among one of his aside from E.T. and a few others. It was
his Oscar award-winning fucking movie, you moron.
Yeah, so if you're saying it was a depressing movie, you realize that you're comparing it to a nominated movie, so that you're saying that Ready Player One is nominee worthy even before it's come out.
Well, we are probably forgetting the core issue with some people who are having issues right now, and that would probably be the fact that we're looking at people who are calling everything a Nazi, racist, and whatnot. And as such, they are comparing it to that because when they look back at that movie, even though back then it got an Academy Award, they're going, it's a movie promoting Nazis. Oh my God.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Just because there's Nazis in it does not mean it's promoting Nazism.
But they can't tell the difference, and everything's a Nazi now.
Yeah.
Well,
Nazi.
You're a Nazi. You're a Nazi. You're a Nazi.
You're a Nazi.
We're all Nazis.
See,
I will take the Nazi title on one condition. I get beer, smoked, and laid, and then I'll take it I'll take that title.
Basically, that was the idea behind Nazism. But regardless,
this next one by Zach, I'm questioning a little bit. Ready Player One should be 100 minutes of people standing at the bottom of an enormous landfill that is slowly filled with Funko Pops, first burying the people at the bottom, then overflowing, breaching the ocean, suffocating the earth. Oh.
I'm gathering he loves his Funko Pops.
No, he's just saying that because everybody is the Funko company is making pops of everything. It's like, I get it. People love their nostalgia, and you want them to suffocate on their nostalgia? Screw you, Mr. Mac. Zach person?
Yeah.
Okay, here's why. Because they're worried that people who get nostalgia about stuff generally don't get excited about anything new or creative. And I use the word creative loosely.
I like that.
Draco, you being perhaps the only other person here who gets me, and I get you because we're both Kingdom Hearts fans, would you complain that that's that bit of nostalgia keeps us from seeing new and creative work?
I'm just gonna wait for the fire that's behind me to stop while you mentioned Kingdom Hearts and I was lost.
It's okay.
I mean, let's
that'll do, Pig. That'll do.
Okay, let's see this. My nostalgia problems are with following games: Zelda, Mario, Sonic, Kingdom Hearts, Earthbound, Digimon World. So we're looking at someone who has nostalgia issues. Okay.
Wait a minute, but does I go back to my original question? Does that stop you from enjoying new and creative work?
Yes and no. Well, here's the issue, and I will admit this as someone who has nostalgia tendencies. I will compare something. I will compare something new to something old, but I will hold the new to a different standard than I do the old. And a lot of the issues is I ignore some of the most great innovations of something just because I liked how it was in the original, even though the innovations make the game better. I will look back and go, I still like this better, even though they made this easier and better to play. So
Okay.
it all depends on how blind or how open you are to your own
Biases?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Wait,
Rogue.
you have biases? I was gonna say that, you know, this book is kind of focused on people around my time frame, so fuck y'all. And
Rogue, no, I have women for that.
but still, y'all, fuck y'all, fuck y'all. Now, those who have, I've just broken everything now. So I broke shit. There you go. I think I've fixed it. I hit buttons and I broke.
I was gonna say, stop broketing the things.
As Rogue fixes everything, I will sadly have to tap out, guys, because I need to
go rest. You don't sound so great. Go rest.
Yeah. You do your thing. Like I said, we can.
My computer and internet are up and running. You guys know how to pull on my tail.
Okay.
I'll try not to pull too hard. I don't want to get
Everyone
barbecued.
send good wishes to Draconath.
No, you can also send good wishes to me too, because I gotta fix shit.
You know, send good wishes to Rogue. Send all the cat girls to me.
I'll get flips right on that.
You take care, okay?
You guys.
See ya.
See you later.
So, I'm going to read one more from the negative side. I kind of skipped the other one. Ready Player One might just be the thing that unites both sides of the internet together in hating it. It truly is a blessing on its own. Again, fuck you, Mr. Junior Senator Person Del Monte. No.
No.
But I will continue on with the article for a second here while Rogue continues to fix things.
No, I've got it kind of figured out, but I ain't gonna put it back on because I have to go cut off ads and that. So I'm like, fuck it, no. I've moved on to the next thing, so I'm good. I'm ready, caught up. But if you guys are watching on the YouTube side, you can continue that. I will fix this later by I'll be superimposing the actual article later in the actual finalized draft.
Incurring the wrath of the pop culture fans you were hoping to lure to the theater isn't a promising start to the film, which will continue its PR blitzkrieg. I said it wrong and correctly both at the same time earlier, and I still get it wrong now. Blitzkrieg at South by Southwest Conference this week, which is going on right now, or has finished. I know that it happened this week. Spielberg hasn't had a true box office blockbuster for a while. Last year, The Post had earned 80.5 million life to date, according to Box Office Mojo, and 2016's The BFG only took in 55 million. The director's last true smash was 2012's Lincoln, which made 182 million. Of course, Spielberg still has fans, so some people did defend the film. Mr. New T. Sage said, "Why is the internet hating on Ready Player One so hard, laughing my ass off?" Another Chris Agar said, "What did Ready Player One do to you, film Twitter? Do you want to write an essay? What do you think about your mom?" Oh
wow. That feels like that's a bite at somebody. I don't know.
Just am I does it badger you, Rogue?
I kind of I don't know, hurts my little feet piece a little bit, you know. But then I'm just a horse.
Badger?
No, I'm just basically here to shill my shit. So you know, I'm just
It's only for the promotion.
It's just the promotion. It's all good. It's okay.
The skepticism surrounding Ready Player One makes me really sad. What part of directed by Steven Spielberg do people not understand? Did everybody suddenly erase his filmography from their brains? Apparently, I think your answer earlier on this, Rogue, was apparently.
Apparently they did.
It's
like they forgot that Steven Spielberg was behind this thing. It's like, what?
There is nothing that Spielberg touches that makes it bad. It might not be as good as some of his other work, but I've never seen Spielberg make anything bad.
I could probably beg to differ, but really,
Okay.
I mean, currently there's been a few things that he's done that's kind of questionable. I'll give him that, but let's be real. He's going to be attempting at Ready Player One. He's got a really good backdrop. He's got the one thing that's going for him, which is mostly 80 nostalgia, and fuck you all for your 90s shit. You broke my movie. But we'll find out how fucking broken it is because your 90s and nostalgia shit. But regardless, it looks good. I would have to say that it's from what I can see, yes. From one of the posters, I can see most of the people getting their titties in a bunch because, you know, it isn't what they think it should be.
Ready Player One will hit theaters March 29th. So, actually 2 days before our GNF Passover. And yes, I am fucking going watching that movie.
Yeah, well,
I'm actually going to go watch that opening night. I don't care. Screw you guys. I got my tickets.
Yay, ticket.
What I am looking forward to this. And there is somebody who I have to thank for getting me into reading the book. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I haven't seen him in a few months now. So if you ever
haven't?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I thought I was responsible for getting into the book, but it's all good. Somebody else did it even better.
I am excited for this. I can't wait for it. I hope it does. I hope it does well. I imagine that it will do decently well.
It should do decently well because of the fact that, like I said before, it's got a lot of building effort. Story building is what it's there for. 1, 2, you've got some characters that put you into literally you literally are living their life. The character build is great. The story that's behind it is pretty. In some cases, you can guess where they're going to go next for the most part. But the idea is if you just kind of forget all that shit about the simplistic plot points that they have for most of the book, if any, you'll get down to it kind of going, oh, I get this. Oh, I see the reference on that. It is literally a nostalgia's. Anybody who wants to relive whatever past glories, this book will do it for you.
It's a walk down memory lane.
It's definitely a walk down memory lane. It's unique. It's something that I would say would be hard to put on the big screen as a live action, but if they're able to do it, great. I would have seen it better as an animation.
Fish, you know what? I'm gonna issue you and Draconath a challenge. You both are gonna need to read this book before the movie comes out.
Jesus. I don't do that.
Actually,
I'll do the ebook.
It's a quick read. Trust me, it's a very good read. It's a very
right.
it's the moment you get yourself into it, it's hard to put it down because there's a lot to it, and there's certain like I said earlier, there's certain aspects where you can guess your way through it, and then you kind of go, okay, even though it might have given you that illusion that it was going to go this way, it decides to go a little bit off to the right or a little bit off to the left, and you kind of go, okay, I didn't see all of that coming. So it's a good book, and I hate to say it, even the one with the audio narrative with Will Wheaton is not that bad, even though it's Will Wheaton.
So the idea is I want you and Draconath to both read this book, and at some point within the few weeks of the movie coming out, watch it, and then we'll actually do part of GNF. A review! Review in comparison.
Yes.
All right.
I like reviews. Reviews are good. I can do reviews. You know I'm going to do that because that's what I normally do. I usually do a review of movies and that, for the most part, here on the GNF show.
Oh, so speaking of reviews, Rogue, do we wanna reveal the little secret of what project you and I are gonna start working on?
Well, yeah, we're gonna go a little bit retro. I mean, we kind of, I kind of got jealous of Nemo and his retro gaming, and I decided to, you decided for the most part, that you wanted to do something with the Rogue, and
I was feeling a little jelly. I admit you were doing something with Nemo. You were doing something with the dragon.
With the dragon,
we weren't doing anything with the sprite.
Well, and I told you that, all you had to do was, kind of figure it out on your own. Let me know what you want to do. And you presented me with Danny Phantom. And I go, okay, cartoon, Danny Phantom. I guess we can do that. And then you decided to go in a different direction.
And completely U-turn.
Complete 180, and you went down a complete memory lane of a reboot. So yeah, we will be covering Reboot all 4
seasons.
Seasons. I want to say years. It feels like years.
Oh no! No.
I know.
It was years, but it was more than just 4.
I know, but the years behind a Reboot for, and we're going to go through every episode. And again, we're going to make sure that. Because we're about half hour long, we probably get like one solid episode of going through it, reviewing it, and see how it actually could be redone for today, or just kind of reliving certain aspects of it, the narratives and that, blah blah blah.
So
but yes,
and this series that you and I are putting together will start with the Reboot series, but it won't just end there. This will. We will eventually go on to other cartoons. Maybe we'll take requests from our viewers if they like what we do with Reboot. Who knows? Maybe you guys will see your favorite cartoons reviewed by the Rogue and the Sprite.
I don't know. Do we have viewers? I don't know. Sometimes I just think we do this for ourselves.
Well, yes, but we don't stop anybody from watching if they want to.
Well, I'm a horse, so I like to do the song and dance every now and then, so I'm good.
Sing and dance for me, Rogue. Sing and dance for me.
I do that quite nicely. I also break shit, apparently. Now that I got the screen back and working for the other thing, isn't that great? Oh my god, and I just got to figure out where we were. I know.
Well, we talked about Spielberg, but we're going to finish off with Ready Player One for a little bit here with the article going on to VR games.
Oh, we were gonna go to VR games? Oh, I didn't put that in the list. I've been put it on my list. Okay, but it's on your list, so you can continue while I pull that up on my list.
All right. Ready Player One VR games show the future is now. Retrofuturism is so hot right now. Retrofuturism. Why are they inventing new words?
Because they ran out of words, so they can just only do
retrofuturism. That sounds like an oxymoron. It's not possible.
Well, it is, but it's
don't they call that what is that term? It's cyberpunk. Isn't retrofuturism? Isn't that kind of going along the lines of cyberpunk? Just a little bit. Okay.
Pretty close.
All right. Ready Player One imagines the year. Oh, so they got this wrong. 2044? The other one said 2045.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they got it wrong completely.
Ready Player One imagines the year 2044 as an industrial wasteland where people escape the perils of modern life by strapping on. Strap-ons? We're talking about strap-ons? Well, shit. Virtual reality headsets and disappearing into a vast digital playground called the Oasis. The book, written by Ernest Cline, was published in 2011, a year before Palmer Luckey and Brandon Irib, founded Oculus VR. Since then, VR has become a staple of the technology and gaming spheres, with dozens of headsets on the market, everything from cheap smartphone-powered devices to untethered PC rigs costing upwards of $1,000 to run properly. Ready Player One may be set in the near future, but it could have easily taken place in 2018. Nowhere is the... No, it can't. As much as you'd like to think it would, it can't. Number one, we don't have trailers stacked upon each other. Anywhere.
You're not
ever. Not even in the poorest of third world countries. No. Nowhere is there more apparent than South by Southwest Ready Player One VR event. Although if this is the one thing that I wish that I could travel around for, it would be South by Southwest to actually see this, but I digress. To promote the Ready Player One film debuting on March 29th, HTC partnered with a handful of VR developers to create 80s-inspired experiences for the Vive and Vive Pro headsets. At South by Southwest, I dove into 4 of these games: Smash, Fractured, Gauntlet, and Rise of the Gunters.
Okay, Gauntlet I already like.
Ahead of their launch on Steam VR and Viveport later this month. Okay. Smash and Fracture come from 2... Wait, hold on. My cat's distracting me. Smash and Fracture come from 2 Bear Studio, and they're easily the most accessible titles of the bunch. In Smash, players smash robotic orbs around a neon-striped hallway using the Vive motion controllers, attempting to make the balls ricochet past enemies and into a portal at the far end. It sounds like a 3D version of air hockey or Pong, no?
Yeah, it does. It is. I thought that's what it was, because everything that you're describing is Pong.
Yeah. The Vive controllers transform into circular shields, essentially attaching 2 huge transparent paddles on each hand. The game feels like a futuristic mix of dodgeball, baseball, and ping pong, and the whole thing is wonderfully responsive. Fracture is the breakout of VR. Instead of bouncing a 2D ball into a wall of bricks, that. At the top of the screen, players are surrounded by transparent cubes in a giant 3D room. Fracture places a glowing bat in one of the hands and a ball recalling device in the other. Swinging the bat arm to smack the ball and explode as many... Okay, simply put, blah, 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 blah. Gauntlet, meanwhile, comes from Directive Games, and it's a true VR upgrade of the 1985 arcade game. The original Gauntlet was a top-down dungeon crawler, but the Vive version is a first-person action title set in a fully realized 3D hellscape packed with violent skeletons. Well, violent skeletons. I'm sorry, but I didn't realize there were nice skeletons.
You never know with skeletons.
Your main weapon is a bow and arrow, which you shoot by making standard archery motions with the Vive controllers. You know what I'm talking about. We're all pretending to be Legolas at the point of our lives.
No.
Let's see.
I have no idea what this article's going on about. I'm trying to follow. Are we still talking about the same thing, that movie?
Yes and no. What they're doing is this is an expose trying to help showcase the movie and get people into it. But what they did was they've made VR games reimagining older classic type style games to give that feel, to like try to get you in the mindset of what this what Ready Player One's world kind of would be by you being a part of these games.
So basically what they've done, Nemo, is they hyped up. They're on the hype train. Okay. So they're hyping up the movie. They're hyping up whatever game that could be associated with said movie. Yeah, so
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna skip down just a little bit. And then there's Rise of the Gunters from Drifter Entertainment. This is the only game I played with the untethered Vive Pro using the wireless adapter HTC unveiled at CES in January. It's also the only multiplayer game. I jumped into a desolate war zone with 2 other people, and together we used futuristic guns to fight off waves of enemies. It was fast-paced and action-packed, with attackers running in and shooting at my team from all sides and dropping money bags and upgrade cherries when they died. Why do I have a feeling that they're trying to mix the Gunters in with... Because there are a group of people called Gunters in the actual movie. Mm-hmm. So this is probably the one... Aside from Gauntlet, this is the only other one that seems to have any correlation or tie to the actually Ready Player One movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Despite a few clunky locomotion mechanics, every one of these games is incredibly immersive, and that's the draw of the VR after all. Just ask Wade Watts. We would if he was actually a real person, but again, it's a movie that I'm looking forward to. Yeah. It's a movie I'm looking forward to, and it's interesting to see how VR.
But I don't even after hearing all this, I don't really even understand what the complaints are. I swear to God, after hearing all this, I don't understand what everyone's got their ass.
I don't either, and I'm actually trying to see it from their perspective. Other than them maybe complaining that it might ruin their nostalgia, or they think that there's just too much nostalgia being packed into it. I don't know. The movie hasn't come out yet.
And think about how the people of the Ghostbusters felt.
True.
Well, the Ghostbusters was being hyped for a completely different reason, and once the movie came out, then it was apparent. As far as this one goes, the only thing that we can do is just wait and see. It seems like there's a strong enough presence. The visuals from the trailers are beautiful. If they do the book any justice, I don't see why this can't be a successful movie.
Yeah. It is very challenging, though, for the movies and for book adaptation. I feel like it's very risky, especially with a short story.
The story itself is not too complex, and it's short enough to where I can see that there shouldn't be that much adaptation done to cut down for time. Considering that this is a 2-hour and something length movie, they should be able to fit in a lot of it without cutting out without much cut, I should say.
Okay.
Rogue, would you agree with me? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was wondering if you would agree with my assessment on how long the actual story is versus how long the movie will be.
Again, they will be able to get everything that they need in for the story arc that is Ready Player One, because it doesn't require too much.
Okay.
So, like I said before, once you read the book, you'll get a better understanding of of what both myself and Pan are looking at when it comes down to this particular movie. There's a lot more when it comes down to the visuals than there is the actual narrative. The backdrop is really engrossed, and like I said before, there's a lot more visually impacted within a book, which is kind of weird because you can picture these things almost. Because if you allowed your imagination to go weird, you can actually see all these different things happening, and then going into, like I said, the story arc itself. It's a very easy flow storyline. You know exactly what the goal is. You know exactly who the players are, and you know what kind of difficulties they're going to come across, and you have an idea of how they're going to surpass those. Yes. Okay. There's some questions where there's like a little a left turn here, a right turn there to keep the motion going, the movement going throughout the book. But like I said, the moment you pick it up, it's kind of hard to put it down.
I only wish that we were a little bit bigger, where we had sponsors, where we could actually offer like a promo on this particular book, since we're talking about it so much. Like, literally, this has covered like a third of our entire show tonight.
I know.
I know. It's pretty...
And I'm sorry that I'm geeking girl outing here. I don't know about Rogue geeking out on his end, but
again, nostalgia is my thing. I like the factor that we're covering old movies.
It's harder for me to get as excited because I haven't even heard of this up until the day when you got upset. You know?
So, like I said, you and the dragon have homework. Yeah, you just at least read the book. Just
all right.
And I would encourage anybody else who's listening. obviously we're not sponsored by anybody. We just really think that it's a good book. Please, if you have the opportunity, read Ready Player One.
Let's put it this way. Like I always say, I'm a whore. I'm gonna say, if you want to sponsor me, I'm a cheap, easy, you know, date. Just bring me something nice so I can give away to other people besides myself. Yes, please. If you haven't read this book, or even haven't taken the attempt, even though you may not like Will Wheaton, please get the audio version of it if you want to listen to it. Hell, get the ebook if you want to be really, really cheap. Hell, I don't care how you get this book or how you get this stuff.
We're not telling you what to do.
I don't care how you do it. Just do it.
Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be memes. Oh, wait.
Speaking of memes, we'll go to the caster. So received death threats for thanking men on Women's Day.
Oh God. Okay, I gotta find this.
By the way, that's not the only person that got that. Apparently, an MP got that too in England.
Really?
Wait a minute, didn't we already cover that?
Men's...
No.
Sorry?
Never mind.
Pardon?
No, it was Women's Day like last week, so no.
Yeah. I mean, didn't you notice on the YouTube side there was like little bits of the women insignia in the corner? Yeah.
And then one chick was like, "Hey guys, thanks for the shout out, thanks for the work." And people were like, "I'll kill you, bitch."
We already talked about Mr. Gabe Newell, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
No, we haven't yet.
We haven't?
That'll be our final one. Again, like I said, we kind of went over because we geeked out on a few things. Plus, we had our special guest. Plus, we ended up talking to Draconath. A few other things. So I think we're allowed at the extra half hour for the overtime.
I'm not finding this one that you're talking about the
It's the one that Nemo had, and it'll be in okay, if you go to Mines, our Mines portions of it, you'll see it. At least I hope you will. It's got a chick on it.
It's got a chick.
Hell, Nemo's the one that sent it to you.
I actually linked it. Yeah, I did link it to you earlier.
Got it.
Girl, we went through this conversation before.
We went through many conversations before. It's a little much of you to ask me to remember all the conversations we've ever had.
Yes, remember every single conversation ever.
You can be surprised what I can remember. But anyways, yesterday afternoon, the Overwatch leak caster, don't expect me to say her fucking last name, but Pensky. So Pensky. We'll just go with the last portion of this.
Wishwind.
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah, me name not gonna happen. No. No. I'm gonna butcher them. It's gonna be hideous. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a mess.
It could be huge.
You're gonna love it. He's gonna love it. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. Took to Twitter to express her gratitude on International Women's Day. She'd open up with a tweet. Oh my God! Thanking all the men who supported women. Really?
Yeah.
She thanked the men who support women for their constant struggle for equality, and then there shortly after, in every true internet style, the opposite showed up, and my God, the bullshit that followed. I mean, lady, you have some internal misogyny to deal with.
Yeah.
Like,
how dare you thank men, bitch?
Zoe responded in an attempt to defend herself by stating, "Did I offend you by treating all genders equally and thanking humans for treating each other the way they should? Believe it or not, but women are not the only ones fighting for equality." Caster and critic John Total Biscuit Bain also provided his 2 cents on the matter. In response, Zoe made it clear just how large of a problem this was, stating that she had received hundreds of death threats within the span of 20 minutes, all due to thanking men for treating her as an equal.
I like this one. Nothing better than women trying to tell other women they're being women wrong.
Wait, that wasn't a sentence.
Oh, it was. Yes, it was. It's nothing better than women trying to tell other women they're being women wrong.
Wrong.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, that might be a sentence in like the literal sense.
It's a sentence that makes no sense, but it's a sentence.
Wait a minute. You want a very odd sentence, Nemo? I'll give you a very odd sentence. Buffalo, 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 buffalo.
You know what? I don't think that one makes sense. Or I get that.
Gender equality itself has proven a large topic of discussion in the Overwatch League and its community, especially with the recent talks about diversity in Overwatch. And it continues on. So let's kind of go. Yeah. Apparently, do not say good things about men during International Women's Day. Otherwise, you got a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, you may have like a Glock in your face when you. Yo, bitch! I hear you been thinking men and shit.
It's like seriously, like who. I don't even know where to start with this. It's like she was doing something good. She was acknowledging people, because oh my god, men need to step aside to let women climb to the top. So this woman is thanking the men who've stepped aside, and then oh my god, how dare you acknowledge the plebs?
Yeah. It's actually pretty disgusting.
Actually, I'm not angry at her. It's very nice what she said. I get it. There's a lot of people that I don't agree with using the hashtag International Women's Day, but there are some genuine comments. And it's like, okay, fine. I get it. No hate. I appreciate. We all live together. We move on. We try to help support each other, and gender and race should not be a factor with who you support. And leave it at that. That's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I
don't know. I think you're lying.
Pretty fucking sure. And that's probably like the 4th F-bomb that I've dropped tonight.
F-bombs. My God, this is a family-related show.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing, Pam?
Think of the children.
Fucking think of the children.
Look at those children that we have to deal with who are 18 years or over on this show. My fucking God. Anywho, yeah, for those who have figured it out, yes, we're an 18+ basic program. So, fuck yeah.
So if you're under 18, then get the fuck out of here.
Pretty much. What the hell are you doing here? I know you like games and all, but still, what the fuck? If you can't handle the basic swears and profanities that might actually come out from a 12-year-old girl or boy, then I have no idea what the hell are you playing games for.
We got a Batman over on my YouTube side. If men step aside to let women climb to the top, doesn't that imply that women are inherently weak? Yeah, that would be the implication. But you know, strong, independent woman don't need no fish.
Yeah, no,
or
need a man or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Strong, independent fish don't need no bicycle.
Well, I need a bicycle, and I'm a fish.
She's actually a very pretty looking lady, and I like her hairstyle with the hair flowing off to the side like that.
You're only saying that because she's for you.
Wait, what?
No, I'm just being a dick.
You broke up there. I couldn't appreciate your full dickiness.
Okay, I said you only think that because she's a misogynist, and so are you.
Internalized misogyny.
Why do you hate women, Pen?
Why do I hate women? I don't hate women. I hate crybabies.
So let's get down to our final massive thing. Gabe has come out of the woodworks, and he says there'll be games afoot, as well as apparently Steam has been working deals with 2K Games.
But I only have 2 feet. I only have 2 feet.
But there's a lot, man. There's a lot happening.
Okay, so Valve has several games in development. Why did it copy and paste the same article? You piece of junk.
I don't know. Okay.
Is this the GameSpot article?
2 things at once. Again, we're doing 2 things at once.
Why are you playing something? I don't want you playing something. Stop playing something. Stop it.
Pen, calm down.
Okay.
But we like playing things, man.
Half-Life 3 isn't confirmed yet, but at least we can dream again.
Oh, there's a new game that he's coming out that's going to be covered, called Artifacts, and we don't know too much about it.
Okay, so
But what we do know, it's going to be released sometime.
Valve's boss, Gabe Newell, has signaled an end to the company's long hiatus. At a talk yesterday, the president said the company is going to start shipping games again. He also opened up about why the pace of its releases slowed down so much and what's changed since then. The presentation via PC Gamer was centered mostly on Artifact, the Dota 2 themed card game announced last year. But he made sure to point out that it's not the only game on Valve's slate. He explicitly said it's the first of several games coming out of the studio. Since the release of Dota 2, Valve's gaming efforts have been focused mostly on supporting it and Team Fortress 2. As for why Valve moved away from games, Newell frankly said he was concerned about PCs becoming more of a closed system. He says investments into Vive were an effort to offset the impact of Microsoft and Facebook looking into OS and VR concepts. You guys remember when Facebook was looking into Oculus? I remember that.
Yep.
I think we all remember that.
Patrick Farm remembers.
Patrick. OS and VR concepts that the company considered less open. The result has been a newly revised Valve that he says feels comfortable in hardware design as well as software. Newell hinted that may impact how they treat their games designs going forward. Quote,
Yeah, you gotta sound like a little drunk man when you do this.
oh god damn it. We've always been a little bit jealous of companies like Nintendo, Newell said. When Miyamoto is sitting down and thinking about the next version of Zelda or Mario, he thinks that he's thinking, what is the controller going to look like? What sort of graphics are other capabilities? He can introduce new capabilities like motion input because he controls both of those things. And he can make the hardware look as good as possible. God damn it. That's the drunkiness. Missing words. As good as possible.
Possible as he can design the software at the same time at a really good at taking advantage of it. Yeah, I will go with that.
Yeah. So that is something we've been jealous of. And that's something that you'll see us taking advantage of subsequently. God damn it! Please don't make me do that again.
I know.
Go ahead.
At the end of it, basically they've got a few Misty projects that they'll be doing, as well as you have their add-on to the Artifacts and whatever else. Who knows? They might be bringing out their next Half-Life, which is pretty possible, but we don't know. But going forward, this weekend Valve is partnering with 2K Games for a special publisher sales. So that's another thing that they're going to be doing. So if you're into like sports game like NBA 2K18 or even Duke Nukem Forever, this might be your time to grab certain games, especially from the 2K Games.
Are you looking at the COG one?
Yeah, I'm looking at the COG one.
Massive sales hit Steam this weekend, offering up to 92% off. Valve partners with 2K Games for a huge Steam sale this weekend.
So you're looking at, let's say you want to do XCOM. This would be a perfect time to buy into it because XCOM 2 is going off for about 67%, where the War of the Chosen, which is their add-on, is going off 40%. So you're looking at about $40 for the two games. If you really want to spend more and more money, you can go into the whole Civ section. You got up to 60% off. That's not including the essentials that they throw in for their DLCs, which is really pretty cool. Or if you want to really, you've never played XCOM before, I know I can word. I can do this. I can. You can always spend about $15.
Yeah, about $15 for XCOM Enemy Within and Enemy Unknown.
Yeah.
Both of them
You
75%
got the Borderlands.
off.
Even if you go with all the Borderlands, you're looking at the original, the second, even the prequel. You're probably spending somewhere about $30.
I never got the prequel, and I don't have the first one on my computer, so I'm looking at that. I'm looking at you.
Then you got the BioShock deals for the Infinite, the Barrel at Sea version, how the remastered 2.
And then you got the Mafias 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Actually, all of them. Mafia 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Yeah. So you're looking pretty good. You got your classics such as your Darkness 2, your Duke Nukems, your Army Men, which is a good one. Then you got all your bundles that come with. So
Nice.
seriously, for those who are interested, please kick over to Steam. Hell, you might be able to find them a bit cheaper on the Humble Bundle side, because they always like doing the deals while these things are going on. So who knows? You might get an extra, couple of 10% off or whatever on top of that. So
Yeah, you might get 102% off.
Who knows what's going to happen, sir? So yeah, just double check around. Right now with the good Steam sales going on, it's perfect time for all you gamers to get your game on.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Anyhow, so with that note, ladies and gentlemen, this was our overtime.
Oh shoot!
It is almost.
I was talking and my microphone was muted.
You're a clever one.
Don't worry, I filled
why
in
are they
for you.
ignoring me?
No,
okay,
I remember
Pat.
muting it because I started to cough and then I did not unmute it.
Don't worry, we're rude. We all just cough into the mic. It's a lot easier. Yeah.
There goes my lung.
Right.
Yeah, that's a lot easier. With that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to the final nitty gritties here, because we're going to be closing down soon, and we're going to call it a day. So for those who are on the Twitch side, if you go to the Twitch side, go down to the little bar. You see all those little links. They go to somewhere. They will send you guys to wherever I want you to be sent to. Pen, where do you want them to be sent to?
Do I want them to be sent somewhere is the question.
I don't know. So do you have anything you want to pimp?
Yes, I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to see content from me, I play video games, live streams, and as Rogue and I were talking about earlier, we will soon be doing our review series, starting with the reboot cartoon series. You can check me out over on YouTube as PeninaChan. You can also find me on Twitch. You can find me on Gab's, mine, and Twitter, also all at PeninaChan. And I think that's about it for right now.
What about you, Nemo? Anything exciting?
As I said, I've got things coming out in the woodwork that should interest people, and if it does come up, then stay tuned. It's going to be on Red Pill Compendium side. And then I've also got Nemo's space, where I should be doing a game and starting to get back into that soon. But really focus on the Red Pill Compendium. That's where things are going to get fun.
Oh, really? What will we be doing?
I can't say too much yet until it actually comes out properly. Until we know what's, but
okay.
Right now all I can say is, how do I put this? The bell toll.
Oh, okay. That sounds
Ask
like
not
so
for
much
whom
fun.
the bell tolls.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun and scariness all at the same time. Anywho, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Canadian Rogue, alongside with PeninaChan and Nemo, who the other two have tapped out, which was, Draconath and MaxKolbe, which you'll find him at the Red Pill Religion. I will have to link that somewhere in the low bar on the Twitch side eventually. Also, you can go over to the Red Pill Compendium, which is also linked down below on the Twitch side, so you can see what Nemo's up to, because Nemo's a dastardly little fish. On that note, I wish you all. I normally say good night, but in this case, I wish you all adieu.
Adieu to you and you and you.
See, that's what happens when you do that.
Good night.
I already did that when you giggled.
God damn.